ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। So we are looking into Visarga sandhi. So what should you remember? I will repeat. Okay, these things should go into our head well. So as I've explained earlier, the way the Visargas are looked upon by Panini is a little different from how you normally see it in a regular grammar book. So here a Visarga is not there to start with. What do you start with? A Padanta Sakara. What is a Padam? Suptingantam Padam. Right? You should know at least that half that much definition. There are more definitions, but Suptingantam Padam minimally. Right? Therefore, when will you get a pada? When you either add a sup or a tinganta. So you have to see which are the subantas which will subanta pratyas will end in sakara. They can bring about a change, right? And tingantas which end in sakara. Sometimes tingantas which you don't know, which will get replaced by something ending in a sakara. Like tiptas chi we say. But there is a rule, jhe jus. So that jus will come, then sakara will come. In lit lakara, you will get null atus us. We haven't seen all this yet in detail, but I have mentioned it sometime. So again, you'll get sakara. So wherever there's a padanta sakara, that padanta sakara will get replaced by room. And sometimes what happens, even though you add a sup, like you add to marut, you add what? Su. You have to add. When you add su, what happens to it? It will get dropped because of some rule. Okay, to marut when you add, you don't get marutaha. Marutaha is plural. What do you get? Marut only. So what happened to su? It came and it went. Somehow it went, okay? So the point is, not every time it will be there. But when the Padanta Sakara survives, it will become a room. Okay? And sometimes, like in neuter gender, what do you have? Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. So you get Ramaha, Ramaha. 2 times you get. What happens when I do phala, neuter? Akaranta, Napumsakalinga. Do you get phalaha, phale, phalaha? I hope nobody says yes. Huh? What do you get? Phalam, phale, phalani. What happened there? In the first 2 rows, something happens. And this is only for akaranta. If it is not akaranta, what will happen? Suppose you have guru, what will happen? In neuter. Guru, guruni, guruni. Guru, guruni, guruni. So in the first and second case, there is sub look goes away. The sub goes away. Then what will happen? There is no sub. But suppose the pratipadika is ending in a sakara. Suppose the pratipadika is ending in a sakara. And you added a sup and it went away. Still, what does the pada end in? It will still end in a sakara. Again, it will become what? A visarga. So what I'm saying is, see, if you are open-ended, which means you don't try to predetermine when exactly padan sakara will come. Whenever it comes, okay? So, paniniyaha akrita vyuhaha. This is a statement, okay? Vyuha means you have a formation. Like, when the battle happened, both Drishtadyumna and Bhishma would align their armies in a particular formation. It's called a vyuha. Now, Paniniyaha, Akrita vyuha, we never form the formation up front. We don't wait for whatever comes, we will respond appropriately. You're always alert, okay? That's the idea. So you don't have fixed rules. Akrita vyuha khalu Paniniyaha. So I'm saying, don't worry when sakara comes. Whenever it comes, if there's a padanta sakara, you make it room. That's the easy way to look at it without complicating our life. Right? Now, once this room comes, this room can get replaced by some things. What are they? We've seen either uttvam or yattvam. What is uttvam? The room is replaced by ut. When does it happen? When this room is preceded by an at and followed by an at, or preceded by an at followed by a hush. These two are cases when the room will become ut. What is at? A. A plus u will become what? Guna. Therefore, what will you get? O. Why will it become guna? Because the change is happening in the 6-1. 6-1 is a sutra which brings about ut. Therefore, further sandhi can happen. Okay? Therefore, it becomes O. O followed by a. What will happen? Engah padantat ati. A will go away, only O will remain. Right? That is one possibility. If followed by hush, O plus hush will remain O plus hush. Nothing else will happen. Right? And if these two rules didn't apply, what else is possible? Well, if these two conditions didn't apply, but the room is followed by a ash, then what can happen? Not just followed by an ash, it should be preceded by avarna. Bho, bhago, agho, you don't worry about. Those are three specific words. Avarna. What is avarna? A and a, both. When it is preceded, what will happen? This room will become yakara. Okay? Now yakara is sitting there. What can happen to that yakara? That yakara may be dropped optionally if it is followed by ash, and will be dropped mandatorily if it is followed by hal. Okay? With this, you have taken care of what now? And if this rule also didn't apply, which means it is not preceded by varna, then what will happen? Room will remain room. It won't change. Okay? This is the rules when ash follows. The whole letters can be divided into ash and kar. If ash is following a padanta sakara, this is what will happen. If because room will come irrespective of what follows. Padanta sakara, room will come. So a padanta sakara is followed by ash, something will happen. If padanta sakara is followed by a kar, what will happen? First changes will say it can become a visarga. Khara avasanayoho visarjaniyaha. So you know that a visarga can never come unless a khar is following. 100% guarantee. Okay? Khar has to follow. Then visarga can come, but it will not always come. It may not come, or it's optional in certain cases. Okay? So if it is followed by a shar, within khar is shar, subset, then it may be a visarga or it may be a sakara. If it is followed by ka kha, it may be ardha visarga, which is jihwa muliya, the ka sound, or it may be visarga, or maybe a sakara. Visarga, sorry, visarga. If it is followed by papha, It may be jihva muliya or a visarga. All right. If these are all okay, if visarga is still surviving, make it sakara. It's just dropping down the line, okay? It can become a sakara. If it becomes a sakara, will it remain a sakara? No, no. Some more changes it can undergo. That change will fall under Vyanjana Sandhi, really. It's not Visarga at all. Sakara is a Vyanjana. Sakara becomes another Vyanjana. That is Vyanjana Sandhi, really. But good to know what will happen. And we saw one more rule where I said a Visarga will never go away, it will remain a Visarga. What is that? When the Kar that follows is Shar Para Kar, which means what? The Ru is followed by a Kar, which is in turn followed by a Shar. And I'll tell you what, in that rule, you will find very few situations. Main situations you have to look for is Visarga followed by Ksha. That Ksha is the most important one. You have a few, Psa, very few words. Okay, you go look in a dictionary, you'll find a handful. So generally, it's not a problem. And it's not something you have to worry because Visarga will be sitting there in your book. See, I'm saying we are not trying to write a book. God bless us. We're not trying to write a book in Sanskrit, okay? Therefore, what? You only have to know how to read it. Half the problem is gone now. You don't have to know all the rules, how to write. You only have to know how to split what is there. And to split, if you see a Visarga, you don't have a problem. You see a Visarga, life is very easy. Only thing is, when you see that Ksha, basically Sharpar Karif is there, you have to pronounce the Visarga as a Visarga. You cannot make it chop. You can't chop it. You can't chop it. Therefore, it is Purna Visarga. You have to fully say it. You know? So we have to say something like Apaha Ksharati. Apaha Ksharati. I cannot say Apaksharati. Kakha looks like Ikhfamulia. No. Apaha, not Ksharati, Ksharanti. Plural. Right? So that is the extra you have to remember for what I will call a Purna Visarga, not Ardha Visarga. Otherwise, you have to make it half. So you should know this. In Mantra Pushpam, Visarga will be there, especially in the Samhita Patha, in the various Suktams. You will find a Visarga, but how it is to be pronounced is you have to know Sandhi. So if Visarga is followed by Kakha, better pronounced as Jihva Muliya in Veda. In general, that's the rule. Okay. If it's followed by Papa, pronounce it as Upadmaniya. Right? If it is followed by Shar, I told you what, it can remain Sakara or it can remain Visarga. Two possibilities. If it's become Sakara, because of the Vyanjana Sandhi rules, it will again change to either Shakara, Shakara or Sakara. Three possibilities. Net, you know what will happen? If Visarga is followed by Shar, you replace Visarga optionally by whatever letter is following. Simple rule. If Visarga is followed by Shar, you replace the Visarga optionally with whatever is following the Visarga. So if Sha is following, you make it Sha. If it is Sa is following, you make it Sa. If the Murdhana Shakara is following, replace it with Sha. Okay? Then what will happen? It will be like a doubling effect. You know? It will be doubling. You will say it two times. So this is what will happen. But it is not just that. It's not just Shakara. I mean, if Sha is following one thing, what if Cha is following? What? So other things can follow. That's why you have to know the rules well, Vyanjana Sandhi rules, so you know what to do. But In the Mantra Pushpa or many other books, when this optional Visarga is there, they will leave it as Visarga. And you have to know when to change its pronunciation. When it's already changing mandatorily to something else, that changed form will be given. You know? So if I say, if you see, suppose I say, Ramaha charati or Gauhu charati. Chara bhakshane. Gamane and bhakshane, it is walking and grazing. It's grazing, it's walking and eating. That's what is charanam. Gauhu charati. What will happen? Cha, is it khar? Yes. Therefore, Visarga is possible? Correct. Now, this Visarga will become a Sakara and that Sakara will become a Shakara, Talavi Shakara. How? We have to see still. We have to look at those rules. Okay? Is this clear so far? Or you have
Yes.
any questions? If you have questions, please ask now so that I can clarify and move forward.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
can we get the sutras or notes for whatever we have covered so far so that we can revise?
Whatever, if you are looking at the mail, you know there's a Google, group. You join it. There's a docs. Whatever is possible, I'll put it there. I'm not committing to give you full notes. I will give you what I can. Okay.
No, I'm just looking for sutras for
Sutras.
all these rules.
No. Sutras
Sutras.
are already mentioned in the class and also in those notes there. You can look at them. That's
Okay.
not a problem. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll
Yep.
look up.
Okay. Okay. So this much is all right. Now, should we do the Vyanjana Sandhi rules a little and come back? Or would you prefer examples? What do you like to do? Tell me. I'll give you a choice first today. Speak up.
I'll prefer the examples.
Examples first, Swami.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then one more thing. This A, Shaha and Saha. This is also something we have to look at. Okay. We will look at that first. So now, let me share. Let me start my sharing. Share. Share up. Okay. So now let me start with one thing and then we will go further. There it is. Okay. All right. This is the sutra which is useful only for two words in the language. Saha and Esha. Okay. Saha is the common pronoun for Tat Shabda and Esha is for Etat Pratipadikam. In Pullinga that too. Right? But how often this is word used? Extremely often. So now what? If it is followed by a hal, a consonant, then what will happen? The su will drop. Okay. So it will become sa. Sa, whatever. Suppose I say Saha Ramaha. Because of this rule, what will happen? Sa Ramaha. Okay. Eshaha Ramaha. Esha Ramaha. Eshaha Kapihi. Esha Kapihi. And this rule happens to be in this 6.1 section. That location is important. Therefore, it is not born of a ru. Before ru comes, the visarga, the su goes. But when will that happen? If it's followed by a hal. If you imagine, don't worry about visarga being there, not being there. You imagine if saha or eshaha is there, and if it's followed by a hal, a consonant, then that visarga will go away. What if it's followed by a ach, by an ash, not a hal, but ach? Why I'm saying hal? Because hal is given. What's the counterpart now? Hal. Because you'll start with what? Ayun, rilik, eong, ayauch, then hayavarat, ha it begins, right? So after ach, hal begins. Therefore, what is remaining other than hal? Ach. So when ach follows, what will happen? You follow the rules we have seen so far for Visarga Sandhi. Okay? So for just these two words, saha and eshaha, you follow a different rule. What is that? For hal, there is one rule, and for ach, there is another rule. For the rest, what do we do? We'll divide it as ash and kar. Now we're dividing as ach and hal. Small difference. Okay? But no real big difference happens because of that. All right? So now let me open the doc and show you some things. Okay. Okay. So now, see, I will examples. This you'll find in a note. Okay. It's going to go in your docs, so you'll see it. And I will tell you what happened. So this sutra we have not really looked at in great length. I just told you Padant Sakara will become Ru. You will find, so I made a note of, what will happen. So in sup means jas, bhis, bhyas, ngasi, ngas, os, sup. All these will become Padant Sakara, which will become Ru. So how is the derivation done? You start with Rama plus Su. Okay. And then you have to know how to drop all the ith letters. What is important when you add Rama plus Su, it becomes Subanta. Therefore, Pada. Now you got a Padanta Sakara. All right. And that Padanta Sakara, okay, will become Room. This sutra is like the mother. Before Visarga is born, Room has to come, starts here. All right. So these examples I have literally cut, pasted from Ashtadhyayi, okay? But I have added a few comments before, so you know what the examples will cover, a larger ground. Okay. Then you have the other example that is given is, and when we decline it, we assume avasana. Therefore, we say Ramaha. Okay. Khara avasanayoho visarjaniya. The second thing is we have an example for tingantas. So when you add a ting pratyaya, so though we say ting, in writing in English, you don't add a G. There's no G there. Ting, nga, ka, ka, ga, ka, nga. Right? Therefore, ting pratyaya. So what happens with those? If it has a sakara at the end, it will get a possible rutvam. So where are the possibilities? In parasmay pada, you have sip, you have tas, you have thus, sip, tas, G, right? So thus, was, must, jus. These are the possible endings. Then you have thas in Atmane pada. Ta atam jha. Thas atam dhum. It vahi mahi. At least you can see clearly sakara there. And there are lit endings like atus, us, athus, etc. So all these are potential candidates for a visarga. Right? So how is it done? He is given an example of patha, which I just thought you can see what happens. So you start with patha. You add a pratyaya in lang lakara. Which pratyaya we want to add sip. Okay. But here, first he says lang lakara. You add lang lakara. You assume you're going to lang lakara. So lang lakara means adagama will walk in. So at plus pat plus lang. Then what happens after that? You add second case singular, sip. Sorry, Madhyama Purusha singular, not second case, sip. Then what happens? In that sip, the E goes. See, it's ending in E. Pakara is it. That E goes, therefore makes it ending in Sakara. And therefore, you add shap, etc., and end up with what? You will end up with apataha. So, apataru first, and because of avasana, becomes apataha. So, apatat, apatatam, apathan, apataha. That's the room coming into Visarga. Okay. And the third example, which I again just mentioned to you, is when you have a sakaranta neuter word, then what will happen? The sup is dropped, you know, swamor napumsakat iti supratyesa luk bhavati. It will go away. The su gets added and goes away. And even though the pratyaya goes away, it will retain the status of pada. There's a rule like that. Okay. And then once you have that, now this payas, this itself becomes padanta sakara, and therefore you will end up with payaru, which will become paya. Okay. This much payaf payasi payamsi. That's how you'll say. Payas payasi payamsi. So when I'm saying quickly, it automatically goes to payaf payasi because payaf pa comes, Avasana, if I don't have, it'll become payaf. If I have avasana, payas or payaha. Okay. Then, so we talked about this. Visarga is only possible, Khara or Avasana follows. So now, let me not spend too much time on these. Okay. The Saha and Esha. So Saha plus, I have taken Saha as an example, okay, instead of Esha. Saha plus any hal. What will happen? By this rule, which is etat tadoho sulopaha. Don't worry about akoho anany samase hali. I have simplified it, okay? I'm not delving in the whole rule because it's not necessary for us. Okay? So what will happen? The sakara, the sa goes, and therefore you just get saha plus hal will be sa plus hal. Okay, whatever is there. Hal means whatever is there after that, doesn't matter. What happens if it's at? Now, other than hal is what? Ach. What if it's at? Then you follow our old rules. What will happen? At means you will get saru. Then ru will get replaced by u. Utvam. Should be 111, I think. Yeah, I think it is that. Check the number, okay? I don't remember. This number may be off. Let me take it out, okay? This number doesn't look right to me. So then that guna takes place, becomes so at, and then that will get dropped by enga padanta tati, leaving you with so. Right? Example is what? Saha asti. What will it become? So sti. Right? Saha akamayata. Famous for us. So kamayata. Bahusyam praja ye yeti. So kamayata. Saha akamayata. All right. Then this also, if you have studied Bhashyam for a while, you'll know this familiar. So rodit. Saha arodit. Mrityu. Agni cried. Therefore, Barhishi, in a yajna, Rajatam Nadeyat. Don't give silver. This is a famous example. Sorodit, Sokamayata. Have you heard this? Eshonima, Aitadatmidagum Sarvam. Chandogya Shishtadhyaya. Eshonima. What is Eshonima? Esha Anima. What will have become? Esha Esho Anima. Then Eshonima. So you should not say Esho Anima. You should say what? Esho Nima. Like so Kamayata. So this is how it'll happen with At proceeding. So I'm saying if Hal follows, just drop the Sakara. Make it Sa or Esha. If it's Ach following, follow the other rules. What are the other rules now? Come back. Sa plus at. Saha plus at or ich. Why at or ich? Avarna we have covered. At we have covered. Now a has to be covered. And ich is all the remaining ach. All vowels except a. All right. So what will happen now? You have this. You will first get rutvam, then yatvam. Right? By bho, bhago, agho, apurvasya yoshi. So you'll get sai plus whatever is following. And then what? Optional yakara will go. You'll get sa plus whatever it is. So essentially, what does it amount to? Either you will have, this so if avarna precedes and follows, at precedes and follows. If not, you will end up with just the sa. Because again, effect is visarga drops. By different rule, that's all. So example is what? Saha aste will become what? Sai aste. This visarga became a ru became a yakara, sai aste. Then drop it, lopa shakalyasya, what will you get? Sa aste. Take saha ichhati. What will happen? Sai ichhati. Sa ichhati. Saha. So good to translate this in your mind, okay? That will help you. He desired. Saha ishte. What does it mean? Ishte is what dhatu? Ish dhatu, to lord over. Saha ishte, saha ishvaraha, ishte. He lords over. What will happen? Sai ishte. That is sa ishte. All lopa shakalya's are finally here happening. Okay. Saha uttishtati. He gets up. What will happen? I didn't write the rest, okay? I assume you will know by now. Sa uttishtati. Saha rishihi. Sa rishihi. But you cannot make a sandhi between these two. That's important. You cannot make a sandhi. Whereas when it was preceded by a and followed by a, we could make a sandhi. Okay? That's important to keep in mind. So when a sandhi is not there, it tells you something has been dropped. Typically, visarga has been dropped. Okay? So those are the rules. Okay. Now let us see. I have got example, but let me go step by step so we can see it more clearly. So this bho bhago agho apurvasya yoshi. What is ash? Ach, right? Ash is what? It is ach plus 543 of a class. So example, if you want, you write one for each, okay? For one for each. And what happens here, this first step. What will you get? Yakara. Will that yakara remain? No. That yakara will either go optionally if it's followed by ash, or it will go mandatorily if it's followed by hal. So how will this rule be looking for you in general when you do sandhi, when you write sandhi? It will look like, you will have a visarga. Okay? A visarga which is followed by I'm ignoring for now the bho bhago agho. Okay? Bhoho, aghoho, and bhagoho, which is used only in sambodhana for a person, for Bhagavan, or for somebody lower. We don't need it right now. We'll stick with apurvasya. A or a. A or aha. These are two which can proceed. Okay. What is it going to be followed by? An ash. What will be the outcome? First yakara, then yakara may be dropped. Correct? So you have two possibilities. Either you will get a I plus whatever follows, or you will get what? I. Two possibilities. right? Because only Ru is getting replaced by Yakara. And then whatever followed will follow. Or you will get what? Alternately. It will just be a or a plus whatever followed. Okay? Are you with me? I'm saying whatever follows is this. We don't care for it. This is what will happen. Now now we can do any number of examples. Okay? This is the basic rule. So if we keep this rule this way, now I have simplified it for you. What you're not worried about Ru, then something. You know Visarga, when you finally break, what will you write to Sandhi as Visarga, right? So now let us say we start with a word like Ramaha. Okay? Ramaha. So let us say our word for everything is Ramaha. Ramaha. Now you tell me what you can do. For Ramaha, if I take it preceded by a, right? It should be followed by what? Ash. But not the a and not a hash, because those two will go away for Rutvam. Utvam. Are you with me? So now you say Ramaha aste. Rama is resting. He is there. Astatu. What will happen? What will happen? Somebody help me. Yes, Harsha.
It will become Ramai
Okay. It will
Aste,
become Ramai aste. Correct?
and
And which will then become
Rama Aste.
and then this, though this form is grammatically there, I have never seen this form. In modern books, I have not seen it. Maybe there sometimes, but hardly there. So I'm saying for all practical purpose, you can ignore it. Rama Aste will become Rama Aste. Okay, is this clear? Now, suppose we had Ramaha, right? Ramaha Gachanti or Ichanti. I can say anything I want, right? Suppose I say Ichanti. What do I really want? I want to make sure it doesn't go into Uttam. That's all, okay? Condition is only that much. So I say Ramaha Gachanti. Many Ramas are going. What will happen now? Again, same story. Rama Gachanti, okay? Similarly, Ramaha Ichanti. Rama's desire. What will happen?
Here there will be Utvam.
Rama Ichanti. It will become Rama Ichanti. Now the point is, can A and E combine by Adgunaha? Answer is no. Why they cannot combine? Because what made this Visarga first became Rama, Ramai, Ramaru, then Ramai, then Yakara got dropped. What dropped the Yakara? The dropping of the Yakara is done by Lopah Shakalyasya Matena, which is 8319. 8390 is in Tripadi. Therefore, the dropping of that, so that Ramai Ichanti became Rama Ichanti, right? And even before that, Rama Ichanti itself, even before Ramai, what happened first? Ramaru. I'm not putting the nasalization, okay? Ramaru, it became, then it became Ramai, correct? What brought about Ramaru? What sutra? 8266. What brought about Ramai? 8 3:17, I think. Bho bhago abho. Then what brought about Rama Ichanti? 8:3:19. Now, benefit of Panini now is for you is when this is so, these are all in Tripadi. And Tripadi Karya in general is not visible to Sapada Saptadhyayi. Okay? Where is Adgunaha? What is the number? 6187?
87, yes.
87. 6187. So 6187 will not see what? It will not see any of this. But this 8266 is seen by the Uttva rules. Atororapplutadaplute and Hashicha. Those two rules. See the rules which is the Uttvam. 61113. Hashicha is 61114. Those two rules can see Rutvam, but they can't see anything more. Okay? And therefore, once this change happens here, you cannot now do any further sandhi. So it will remain as Rama Ichanti. And this is how you will see it written in your book, typically. If you see Rama Ichanti, you better know there is a Visarga dropped. Very likely. Okay? It need not be Visarga all the time. Is there a rule? It should be Visarga when something drops? No. We have seen Lopa Shakalyasa's rule is what? It has nothing to do with Visarga. Lopa Shakalyasya is doing lopa of a Padanta Yakara or Vakara. So even when you say Asau Adityaha, what happens? You know, suppose, or I say Rame in Rama. Okay, Rame Gunaha Ichanti. Rame Ichanti Gunaha. I can change the order. Now you tell me what will happen. Rame Ichanti. See, it doesn't, Rama I cannot make here. It doesn't make sense. Okay. But Rame Ichanti, what will happen? Someone help me.
That should be Echo Yavaya.
Yeah.
Swar Sandhi it should be.
Correct. So it is Hoivayavaha. What will happen? Ramai Ichanti. Correct? Now you tell me, is Yakara a Padanta Yakara or not? It is. Lopa Shakalya can apply. Don't add Lopa Shakalya and stick it only to Ru. No. I mean, Yakara is what it works on. That's why I showed you the rule split, so that we can use it everywhere. Otherwise, one rule for Sandhi, Sar Sandhi, one for Visarga Sandhi. We don't need that. Same sutra. Lopa Shakalya. So what will happen now? You will get Rama Ichanti. Correct? Now, sorry. Now you tell me, do you know when you see Rama Ichanti, do you know whether it's Visarga or A? You can know. How? If you said it is Ramaha, suppose it was Ramaha, unless there is some other word which will go with Ichanti. Ramaha will not go with Ichanti. It should be Ichati. So you can know. But all I'm saying is, don't assume that when you have a situation like an A followed by another swara, sandhi didn't take place. Don't assume it is always going to be Visarga. It may not be. This is something you have to watch for, because sometimes both possibilities will look possible and the meanings will change. Okay? So you have to be very cautious. Similarly, We normally give example of A, but as I said, you can also have an example of what? Asau Adityaha will become what? Hoya Vayavaha. Asav Adityaha. Correct? What will that be? Happen after Lopashakalyasya? Asa Adityaha. Asa plus Aditya won't become Asaditya. No, no Savarga Dirasandhi. Same reason. Because it is Tripadi Karya. Swamiji, can it be Asaha Aditya? You better know, is there a word called Asaha? Can be. Potentially it can be. But is it possible? You have to look. Is this clear? So I'm saying when this Lopa Shakalyasya applied, it is only working on Padanta Yakara or Padanta Vakara. And that could be coming from Hoyavayavaha. It could be coming by dropping of a Visarga also. I mean, converting of a Ru to a Yakara. Vakara won't come there anyway. Okay. So between Yakara dropping or both are Yakara dropping, whether the Yakara is born of a Ru or born of a H, you better check carefully. Okay. That's the only catch you have to be careful about. Because in both cases, Sandhi won't happen. What you know when you have a situation like this is something has gone. That is why Sandhi is not taking place. That is clear to you. Okay. All right. So now what did we do? We have seen examples here of Avarna or Avarna followed by Ash, right? We are looking at. So I covered Avarna, right? And I covered Avarna before. Now what do you want? You want Ivarna. What would be an example? You give me an example. Kavihi, right? I can say Kavihi or Harihi, Kavihi. What will you give now? Once you have Ivarna, you give me anything you want now, okay? But what do we want? This is example of what? Bho Bhago Ago we are starting with. Okay. So if you're starting for that, you have to give me Ash.
So we keep it Ichchati.
If you give Ichanti, what will happen?
It will become Savarna Dirgha, I suppose. No, Visarga, na. So Visarga.
Please raise your hand and wait, okay? Because everybody should get a chance. I prefer that, huh?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You're welcome to raise your hand. So, Harsha, go ahead.
Kavirichati.
Kavirichati. Because there is no possibility of Savarna Dirgha because no two Savarnas. Kavi, he is sitting there. What will happen? Kavi, he will become what? First step?
Kaviru.
Kaviru. And Kaviru, Ru is equivalent to what? What is the content? Drop the ith letter. Ru, I'm saying, drop the ith letter. Right? This is nasalized. So it's Ra. So what will get? Kavir. Kavir Ichchati. So what will it become? How will you write it? This is what is happening. But you write out Kavir Ichchati. Correct? Okay. Now suppose you had Guru, what will you get? Guru Ichchati. Right? Suppose Guruhu Agachati, what will you get? Guru Agachati. I told you once it is no Uttvam, no Yatvam. Don't worry, it will remain Ru. Majority of the case will go there. You follow what I'm saying? So you give me another example. You give example as many as you want now, okay? Because you just have to change what follows, right? So you want a different. In the beginning, you say you say Pashuhu, right? Pashuhu. I've given Ukara now. What? Pashuhu Dhavati. Will it work? Dha is not Khar. That's all I care for, okay? What will it become? Pashur Dhavati. No. Pashur Dhavati. So what should you know? If you see Pashur Dhavati, You should be able to make Pashuhu Dhavati. That's important. This side you will do. You have to be coming the other way around. That's important. Okay. So, Harira Gachati. Suppose I said Harira Gachati. What will you do? Yeah, Harsha. Priyanka, go ahead.
Harihi agacchati.
Harihi Agachati. Right? Harihi Agachati. What is the translation?
Hari comes.
Yeah, Hari comes. Hari comes. That's easy, right? So, like this. So, if you can make anything now, right? Bhanu Rudeti. Yes, Bhuma.
Bhanuhu udeti.
Bhanu Udeti. Very clear. What is important? You better know what words are there in language. Bhanu is there, you know. Udeti is there. Then you're in business. Okay. All right. So that is how Bhanu Udeti will go. Right? Now, what else can we give? Yes, Malti.
Guru Brahma.
Yeah,
Guru
correct. So you can see all those. Gurur Brahma. So Gurur
Vishnu.
Brahma. Correct. Sorry. So what will happen here? Guruhu
Brahma.
Brahma. And is it Brahma or Brahma? You have, if you mean Brahmaji, make it Brahma. Because that is what is right. Vishnu and Maheshwara. So he's talking of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So it should be Brahma, masculine Brahma. So Gurur Brahma. So Guruhu Brahma. Guruhu Vishnu. Gurur Vishnu. Guruhu Devaha. Gurur Devaha. Then what? Look at that now. Gurur Devo. Why Gurur Devo? Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Right? Now you tell me what's happening. Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. What is Sandhi between them?
Devaha Mahesh.
Devaha Maheshwaraha. Correct. What happened there? Devaha is Visarga. What happened? It's followed by what? Preceded by what? So when you say, see now, if you look at it, Guru Devaha, Devaha and Maheshwaraha. Hmm? What is this Visarga preceded by? Ah, At. What is it followed by? Makara, which is what? Hush. Hush. Therefore, by Hashicha, the room will become what? First, this is Padanta Sakara, Devaru. Then Devaru will become Devo by Hashicha. 61114 will apply. And you'll end up with what? Devo. Right? And then you have Maheshwaraha. What is Maheshwaraha? Now, Maheshwara is a compound. Split it further. What will it be? Yes, it is. Sujata, go ahead. Unmute and then speak. Otherwise, we can't hear you.
Maha plus Ishvara.
Maha plus Ishvaraha. Okay. So that Mahan Ishvaraha. Maha is not a word. Nakara
Maha.
will go. Then Maha plus Ishvara. What will apply? Atgunaha. So you get Maheshwara. So I'm saying you have to know even in some compound way to do it. Good. All right. Now another example somebody wants to give. I can show you more, but I just want you to think a little, okay? Yes, Bhuma.
Pratar namami.
Okay, now you have entered a territory which will be slight trouble. We'll follow it. We'll cover it now, okay? You asked a question, you don't know the answer, I'll help you with it. Let's write it down first. So, pratar namami. Okay, what will you say now to this?
Pratar.
Sorry, pratar
Prataha.
namami. So you will say
Prataha
prataha. Correct.
namami.
Correct. That is correct. Prataha namami is correct. Now, though you say prataha namami, now you try to form the sandhi with these two now. Prataha. What is preceding the visarga? At.
At.
What is following it?
Following it.
Hush or not?
Yes.
So what should have happened? If hush follows, what should happen? Prataru will become what? Prato. Prato.
Oh, prato. Correct.
Prato namami should have been. Why is it
Uh-huh.
not going prato namami? Because this fellow didn't come from Padanta Sakara. This is a different fellow, okay? I didn't talk about this so far, but you raised a question, so we'll cover it now. So what happens here now? The avyaya is pratar. It's an avyaya. The form is pratar. And to this pratar did not come from Sakara becoming room. It is straight Ra. It is not room. See the difference? It is Ra, but not room. What is the content of room? Ra only. But Ra is not room. Room is Ra. Ra is not room. I told you this earlier. Mithya is Satyam. Satyam is not Mithya. Okay? So room is, this is Ra. Therefore it is not room. Are you with me? This Ra is not
Room.
room. Okay? Since it is not room, you cannot apply what? No 63111 or 112. Are you with me?
Yes.
Won't apply. Therefore, this follows an exception. But then, so what will you have? Pratar plus namami.
Okay.
Right? Pratar namami. So, though if you really speaking, you should not say pratah namami.
Uh-huh.
But you could. It is pratar namami if you know namami is following. But suppose I have avasana.
Then
the point is this. What we should do now is let us look at what is the rule. We say what? Karavasanayoho visarjaniyaha. Correct?
Yes.
There, what becomes visarjaniya is a question. There you will find what becomes visarjaniya is a ra, not a room. See, raha. See this here? Therefore, pratar is ra or not? It is. Right? When avasana is there, should it become visarga or not? Yes, it should. So prataha is fine. Prataha, smarami, sandhi vicheda is correct. Nothing wrong with it. But that is not going to follow the, it's not room. Therefore, you have to be cautious with that. Okay?
Yes.
And there is one more thing here, okay? Now that we are in the context, let me talk about a little more in one more rule here, okay? Yeah. Now, this is pratar namami is okay. Now let us change the example. This is clear. Pratar namami is clear to all of you? Okay. Now, let's say I'm interested in pratar in the morning. The person is very pleased. He's happy. Ramate. Pratar ramate means what? In the morning he is very pleased. Rama, to delight. Now, when this is the situation, what will happen? It won't become pratah ramate. It could have, but we have a rule. The rule is what? If a ra is followed by a ra, if a ra is followed by a ra, the first ra goes. What happens? The first ra goes. And the second thing is, when the ra is dropped, the vowel preceding it will be lengthened. Two rules. What is it? When a ra is followed by a ra, then the preceding ra is dropped. And when a ra is dropped like this, dirghasya ana, purvasya anaha dirgha bhavati. So what will happen now? First step will be prata, right? Ra went away. Ramate. And the second sutra will say, you can't do this just like this. You have to elongate this fellow. So what will happen? Prata ramate. Okay. Example for us. Nirgataha ragaha yasmat. Nir, okay, and ragaha. Now, yes, Harsha.
Swamiji, will it be Nai Ragi?
Now, don't go. Why you nai? Why are you going to nai? Sandhi, where is nai coming here? Vriddhi will bring, for some other reason doing it. Don't worry about it right now. Okay? This is not viraga vairagyam. We're not talking of bhava. Nir plus raga. What will sandhi is the question. You want to try?
Ni Ragaha.
Good. That's what will happen. Why? Ra will go and ni will become ni. So if you do Lalita Sahasranam, what will you hear? Ni raga ragamathani. Have you heard? Ni raga. Why ni raga? Why not nirraga? Hey, nirraga you can't say. Ni raga. Niraga ragamathani. Correct. Therefore, these rules are, one is called, sutra is called Rori. Very nice, simple sutra, okay? Rori. Okay? Where is Rori? It will be just before the Visarga, Kravasanayo Visarjaniya. Okay? So we will go quickly and look there. So what is it saying? Rori is what? Now let's do sandhi of this. Ro ri. Help me. Ro ri. What sandhi rule will you apply now? Ro is there. You have to guess.
Raha.
Yes, Aruna.
Is it a Visarga? Rohori.
Well, it is not roho ri. Then it would be ru, okay? But we want, yeah, yes, Malti.
Raha ri.
Raha ri. That's what is happening, okay? Raha ri. So now, what would happen if it is raha ri? Raha is followed by the this raha is born of ru. Okay? You have to understand, this raha is born of ru, not a ra straight away. You have to assume in the pratipadika is ra with an a following for ucharana. Now you have to decline ra. How will you decline ra? Raha rau, raha, ram rau. You have to do this, okay? So now raha is what? Raru. Are you with me? Now you have uttam possibility, because what is following is what? Hush. Hayavarat. Therefore, what will happen? Ro ri. What is ri? So raha is 1-1. Right? Raha is 1 1. Correct? First case, singular. What is re? Yes, Malti.
7 1.
7 1. Good. So what is it saying now? Raha Ri. What should be the nivritti for the sutra? Yes, Aruna. Okay. What should be the nivritti? I've told you the rule. Malti, go ahead.
When Akara follows, Raha will be the replacement. Sorry,
No.
Raha will
What did I tell you? What is the rule here? When
Raha will replace.
no pratar ramate. What's the first step that happens?
Ra drops.
This ra goes, I said. What is the going? How do you say goes? Harsha?
Lopaha
Lopaha. Exactly. Lopaha. You can guess what is going to come, okay? So now with this understanding, let's go to the sutra. So it'll be more fun, okay? So we'll go to the sutra now. So this is Karavasanya. We go one back, it should be that. Rori. Okay? What does it say? Raha Shashti Ekavachanam. Sorry, I gave you wrong thing, wrong idea, because Adesha is Lopa, not 1 1, 6 1. That is a mistake. I told you Raha is 1 1, it is 6 1. Okay. Then Ri Saptami. So what's the vritti going to be? Raha Rakarasya sthane or Repasya sthane Kim Adesha? Lopaha Adesha Bhavati. Kada? Rephe Pare. So what will say? Repasya Samhitayam Rephe Pare Lopaha Bhavati. Ro Ri. Raha Ri. Swamiji used to love the sutra. He would say Ro Ri. So it reminds me of Puja Swamiji. Ro Ri. This is what is Ro Ri, okay? And when you do this, Dralope Purvasya Dirghonaha has to come. That's another sutra which kicks in. Okay? So you see this sutra. Purvasya Dralope. What is Dralope? Now you have to tell me. Dralopa. What could it be? Yes, Malti, tell me. Malti, you want to answer it? Or no?
May I?
Go ahead, Aruna.
May I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when dha का लोप हुआ है, when it's और रेफ का लोप हुआ है.
Therefore, no, here, correct. What you're saying is correct. So, dra is dhascha, rashcha, drau. Dvandva samasa. Dhascha, rashcha, drau. Tayoho lopaha, dralopaha. Shashti tatpurusha. A dvandva garbhita shashti tatpurusha samasa. Shashti tatpurusha. Because dhakara repayoho lopaha. But why dra? Dha and ra. You can make it that way also. Dhakar. Basically, what will be, I'm saying, is when dha or ra are subject to lopa, then what happens? Purvasya anaha dirgha bhavati. Preceding an will take dirgha adesha. Suppose it is already dirgha, nothing will happen. If it is hrasva, it will become dirgha. Okay? So, this is one more rule. Okay? So, this rule will kick in when you have ra. And when this rule Rory is kick in, mind you, that the ra could have been born of a ru or may not be born of a ru, it doesn't matter. Ra is ra. Has no distinction. Whereas Atoror Apluta Plute and Hashicha are working on ru. Because roho. There it is roho. How did you get roho? Ru in Saptami, in Shashti.
Okay.
Like Guru. Becomes roho. But here, raha, ri, rori. So here itself, we use atoro, rapluta, daplute. Okay? So you want to see this sutra? We go there. Dralope purvasya dirghonaha. What does it say? Dralope. So you can see dralope, saptami ekavachanam. Purvasya, preceding. Purvasya kim? Purvasya anaha. What is the sthani? An. Which an? Purvasya anaha. The one which precedes the lupta dhakara or repa. Of that, what is Adesha? Dirgha. Okay. And when does it happen? Interestingly, this is sitting in 6-3. So normally Uttarapada, when Uttarapada follows, means a compound, looks like. I didn't look at this detail earlier. So, but the rule is this, okay? So you will find an is what? A, E, U. Because an is always you take the first nakara. In you should take second nakara. Two nakaras are there. I won. Then lan. Two Maheshwara Sutras. So when you take an, you take the first nakara. When you take in, you take the second nakara, parasya nakara. And therefore, you have one sutra which is Dodhe Lopaha, which is 8313. And 8314 is Rorihi. Both of them cause Lopa. And these two, though they are in the Tripadi, they will still be available for view in this, in 6-1, 6-3, because there's no other way it can happen. Only Dha Lopa and Dra Lopa happens here in 8-3. Therefore, you end up with what? So he gives an example for both, lid plus dhwam will become lead dhwam. We don't see that form commonly. See, guh plus dha. You see this formal normally, gudha. That gudha comes because of this. Guh plus dha becomes gudha. How do you get u? One dhakara goes. And see this punar ramate, puna ramate, prata ramate. I said it is punar ramate. He is happy again. Puna ramate. Okay. So you can see he gives further example. Sham harihi rajate, hari rajate, shambhu rajate, shambhu rajate. So these are all examples of Visarga Sandhi also for you. Because what do you see? Harihi rajate. Becomes what? Hari rajate. Okay. All right. Is this clear? So now, see, one example I asked, we went somewhere else. So we want another example now. You want more examples? A lot of examples we can give, okay? But let's go a little further now. Let's see what else is there. So this is the example for what. Now you can see what has to happen, okay? So far as you rule out Uttvam and Yattvam, in all other cases, if it's Ash following, Ru will remain Ru. Okay? But even if Ru remains Ru, this Rori may kick in sometimes. You have to be cautious. Okay? So just know that that's another rule. When Ra follows Ra, previous Ra will go and the preceding and will get Dirgha. One more rule to keep in mind. Okay. Then what can happen after that now? If you cross this barrier, what's the barrier? Ash follows. Padanta Sakara. Are you okay? We cross that barrier. Now what will happen? Means Kar follows. If Kar follows, then Visarga will come. Visarga will come. All right. So if Visarga comes, now we have to see what can happen further. So if Kar follows, Visarga will come. Visarjaniyasya. So let's not go there. Karavasanayoho Visarjaniyaha. First rule. Right? So if I say Ramaha, make it Balaha. Why not? Balaha Tarati. No, let me not go there. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. I can do it, but I will tell you something will happen now. Okay. Balaha Tarati. Now what will happen? What is Sandhi going to do? This Balaha will become Balaru. Right? Balaru will again become what? Visarga. So it starts not with Balaha, it starts with Balas. Balasu. Balas becomes Balaru. Balaru becomes Balaha now. That's how it came. But when we write Vicheda, we'll write like this only. Balah tarati. Now, will it remain like this? That's the question. That's the question. Now the Visarga, if the Visarga remains, then there is one more rule which says Visarjaniyasya saha. So what will happen now? This Bala, and you will get, instead of Visarga, you'll get Sakara. Swamiji, first we started with Bala plus Sup. It was Balas only. You made me do all this natakam and come back to Balas. What is this? This is how Panini Maharaj works sometimes, okay? Don't break your head. This is how it works. Balas tarati. Finally, it is Balas tarati. Why did you have to do this? Dravida pranayama. This is called prakriya, okay? This is prakriya. Balas tarati. Okay? Suppose it was Balaha. Suppose it was Balaha karoti. Karoti. Now what? Now you have an option. What are the options? You can either remain as Visarga, or Visarga can become what? Jihva Mulya. So that will kick in, and I can't write it. I mean, I can't show it to you on the screen. I don't want to make half Visarga on the screen, okay? So you should know. So this will become what? Bala. This is correct. Sorry. This is either this way, or it can be Bala plus Ardha Visarga, which is what? Which is here Jihva. Okay. Jihva Muliya. What does Jihva Muliya mean? What is Jihva Mula? Jihvayaha Mulaha Jihva Mulaha first. Tatra Bhavati. The sound which is produced there in that sthana is called Jihva Muliya. Kanthe Bhavati Kanthyaha. Talau Bhavati Talavyaha. Murdhni Bhavati. Watch, Murdhni. Why? Murdhan is the Pratipadika. Murdhni Bhavati Murdhanyah. Oshtau Bhavati Oshtyah. All Tadhita. Tatra Bhava. Shanj Pratyaya, I think. So you get Jihva Muliya. That Iya is one more replacement of a Tadhita Pratyaya. Okay, so you get Jihva Muliya. So now Jihva Muliya is what? Ihka. So how should we pronounce? Balak Karoti. Good example I like for this is that Kamokarshit mantra. You know, Kamah Karoti Nahang Karomi, Kamah Karta Nahang Karta, Kamah Karaita Nahang Karaita. You get 3 rounds, okay? Eshate Kama Kama Yaswaha. That is Jihva Muliya. So you have 2 possibilities now. You are all right to say Balaha Karoti, or you can say Balah Karoti. This is language. In Veda, whatever the Pratishakya tells you, you have to follow. You don't have a choice. Okay. Now, similarly, if I make it Balaha Khadati, same story. Nothing will change. Same. Because rule is same. All right. Balaha Khadati. Then, what will happen now? Kakha we have done. Now we look at Papha. Just to cover the same story. Finish it. Balaha. Give me something. Pachati.
Patati.
It's okay. He cooks. Whatever he cooks. He cooks some game. Balaha Pachati. Cooks. What will become now? Either Balaha Pachati or
Upatmani.
Upatmaniya. So you'll end up with, here it will be what? Upatmaniya. So Balaf Pachati. Similarly, suppose I say vrikshaha phalati. What will you do with this? Vrikshaha phalati or vrikshaf phalati. F sound. Vrikshaf phalati. Okay. So in this Panchakshari, Show Panchakshari, where does it come? It comes in the end. Panchaksharamidam nityam yaf pathet. Yaf pathet. What will you do with the yaf pathet now? Yah pathet or yaf pathet? In a mantra, when you're chanting, better stick to yaf pathet. Yaf pathet shrunuyadapi. Okay? There was a time when I used to think why they pronounce wrongly yaf when it is yaha. Because in school this is what you learned, yaha. You didn't know yaf. Why I should pronounce yaf? My mother would say yaf. I won't say yaf. Teacher has told me it is yaha. So it took some years, many years to know I was wrong. It is yaf pathet. Yaf pathet shrunuyadapi. Okay. So this is upatmaniya. So we have covered ka, kavarga, and pavarga khar. Now what's remaining? Cha, ta, ta. Three are remaining. Okay. In tavarga, you have no problem. Sakara will come and sakara will remain. Okay. Two more fellows are remaining. What are they? Chavarga and the tavarga. Okay. For this, what should we know? The rule is this, okay? Now what happens? When the chavarga or the tavarga or tavarga follow, the visarga remains visarga first. Then if visarga remains, it will become sakara. So you'll end up with what? Sakara will be there. Now, what happens to sakara? That's the next question, okay? So for that, we have a rule. What is the rule? Suppose you have sakara, what is tu? Tavarga. Tu. Stu. You remember the anudit savarnasya cha pratyaya? Udit. That u when you add ku is kavarga, tu is tavarga, chu is chavarga, right? So here stu is what? Sakara and tavarga. Sakarascha, tucha, stuhu stands for sakara and tavarga. And here you have a bidirectional relationship. What do I mean? Either sakara or takara may proceed, okay, or on this side, chu. What is chu?
Shakara.
Shakara and chavarga.
Chavarga.
Okay. When there is a connection between sakara tavarga with shakara chavarga, whether it's this way or that way, which means shu can be first, stu can be later, stu can be first, shu can be later. Either way, stoho. Sutra is stoho. Chuna. Chuhu. Panini has all nice things to tell us, okay? Stoho shchuna shchuhu. Now you have to help me. What is this case and number for these? Stoho. Stoho. What will stoho be? Os you can see. Can you spot os? Okay. So now you think. I have already told you stu here. What should it be? Sixth case singular, isn't it? Like guru. Guroho. Stoho. Swamiji. But that is singular, isn't it? You said os. Is it os or not? It should be gurvoho. Guroho, guruvoho. Therefore, what is happening in stoho? It is shashti, all right. Therefore, you have to make it a dvandva samasa, but better not make it a itaretara. Make it a samahara dvandva. Therefore, only one. Then Panini will get his ichha. Stoho will become 6-1 of stu. Sakara and tavarga. Now, shchuhu. What case and number of what? Shchuhu.
1-1.
1-1 of what?
Sakara, sakara.
Yeah.
Cha.
As a-
Cha.
Again, and again, request is please raise your hands. Okay, it's fair to people that you have a chance. Raise your hands. Okay. So now, shchuna, Priyanka. What is shchuna?
3-1.
3-1 of what?
Stew.
Stew. Perfect. Stew. And now first time we are using this. What is the meaning of third case in Panini?
Either way. So.
Either ways. Okay, till now we didn't see it.
Hmm.
Okay. So we had seen 6th case, 7th case, 1st case, 5th case. 3rd case we hadn't seen. First time we are seeing it. So stoho, shchuna, shchuhu means what? What is sthani?
2.
What is sthani here? Stu.
2.
Stu. Stu, when in contact, when in association with what? Shchu. Shchu. Shakara chavarka. What is the adesha for stu?
Stew.
Shchu. So what will happen now? Stu will get replaced by shchu. So now you have to tell me, what will happen to sakara?
Becomes sakara.
Shakara, right? What will happen to ta?
Becomes sakara.
Chakara. What will happen to tha? Chakara, correct? You get it now? You have to associate mutually, correct? Now, you tell me, in this particular case, when I have now, I said what? If I say Ramaha or Balaha Charati or Chalati. Why Charati? Poor Bala, let him walk instead of graze. Chalati. Balaha Chalati. Now what will happen? First step, Balaru Chalati. Then Balaru will become what? Balaha. Visarga. Then Visarga will become what? Sakara. So you'll get what? Balas Chalati. Now, this Sakara, is it in conjunction with a Shchu? Yet. What is getting replaced? Stoho. Stohos. Sakara Tavarga only, doesn't matter which side it is. What will get replaced is Sakara Tavarga. Don't say preceding is succeeded, following is succeeded. What is replaced? Sthani is replaced. Keep in mind. We're not saying previous is replaced or following is replaced. Sthani is replaced. And sthani is preceded by what? I can't tell you. Followed by what? I cannot tell you. Sthani is associated with. Can it be preceding? Can be following. Immediately. That's important. So it's an equivalent of 7th case or 5th case. Put as 3rd case. Okay. So then what will get replaced? Sakara Tavarga will get replaced. For Visarga Sandhi case, what do we have to replace? Sakara alone will get replaced because there is no other possibility. So Sakara will become what? What will it become?
Balaha.
It will become Bala and Shakara and Chalati. So what will you write it as? Balash Chalati. Sorry, I goofed up. Oh, this must be a problem of the font. Okay. Yeah, now it's clean. Okay. Something wrong here. Yeah, that should be it. Okay, Balash Chalati. Understand now? So now you tell me, is Visarga Sandhi rule making, did Visarga go to Shakara? You can say when When chavarga follows, it will go into that. Possible. Alternately, remember stoho, shchuna, shchuhu. Okay? That will tell you what sakara. One more rule, simple. Now you know one rule, another very simple. What is it? Shtuna, shtu, sorry, shtu na, shtuhu. Shtuna, shtuhu. Anuvritti is what? Stoho. What will happen? When sakara tavarga is in association with shakara tavarga, then sakara tavarga will be replaced by corresponding shakara tavarga letter. Okay? Therefore, what? So if I say balaha tikate, tikate, it became, should I say tikate. Now what will happen? Balaru tikate, balaha tikate, then balas tikate, then sakara takara has come together. You will end up with what? Shtunashtuhu, and you will end up with balash tikate. हो गया काम. Okay. So with that, we would have covered probably 90% situations which you have to cover. There'll be a few. So extra things, what did you see? Stoho shtunashtuhu, shtunashtuhu, rori, dhralope purvasya dirghona. 4 extra rules we've seen in the process today. Right? But if all these are taken care of, then you're pretty much, you're in the home run now. Okay? So I will try to put this together. I started work on it, but I haven't finished it. So you will have when ash follows, when kar follows. So visarga, when visarga is followed by shar, optionally replaced by sakara. Kakha, optionally replaced by jikhva muliya. Papha, upadhmaniya. Shchu, then shakara replaces sakara. Shtu, shakara replaces sakara. Right? And sakara remains. No room to change it. Therefore, it remains. So, if we know these many rules, I'm saying most of what we call vriddhi sandhi is taken care of. Sorry, not sandhi. Not vriddhi sandhi. I mean the visarga sandhi. Okay. All right. Okay. I have already exceeded my time. So, any questions so far? Were you able to follow most of it? Yes, Harsha.
Swamiji, I was trying to read the website and follow some of the commentary. There is one concept called Antaranga Bahiranga, which was mentioned.
Yeah, stay off it for now. I'll tell you what. Now, basically, suppose there are 2 rules which are simultaneously applicable. Which one should you follow? This is a problem to be solved. And for that, Panini gives you many ways to resolve the problem. Not one, many ways. That depends on which rule. And, basically, we have multiple rules. And which rule will apply is not something easy to figure out. So there is something called, which is Baliyan. So normally we say Paraha Baliyan. One rule. Okay. Then there is another rule which will say Nityaha Baliyan. Another will say Antaranga Baliyan. So these are all those which I have tried to steer clear of. Why? Because for that we really need to get into very good depth in Panini Paribhashas. Paribhashas means the rules governing what to do when there is a tie. How do you break the tie? I have tried to stay away from complications because I feel most of you will not need it. And even if you went into it, unless you're going to study and teach Panini, they will go away in time. And it is, sometimes the rules are such that there is just, very simple. You can have a rule which you add a. See, suppose you have, now look at this. Suppose you have a nanj. See, Shivo aham is what? Shivoham. Suppose it was Shivaha ham. What will it be? Don't make aham. You will still get Shivoham. You understand? Now, hum and aham is not a good example because hum is not a word. But what I'm saying is, you could get a nanj and non-nanj as both possibilities. Therefore, what will happen? The rule will say one thing, and the same rule will say exactly the opposite thing. That is how these paribhasha work. So there is complexity involved. Honestly, I found it is not easy to take them. And even in 3-year course, I would generally give some idea, but not go too much into depth because it's a head breaker. And unless you know a lot of things, you have to rely on the commentaries to say what is Baliyan, why, etc. You have some idea, but it's not all foolproof. So I will probably steer clear of that. If you want to ask me something, you send me a question or talk to me. I will answer you what I can. Because even I don't remember all these paribhashas now. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Malti.
Swamiji, I have a doubt.
Mhm.
This prataha, pratar becomes prataha.
Mhm.
It is pratar. So prataha, that visarjaniyasya saha will not apply. So it cannot become pratar.
It cannot become?
Pratar, like visarga cannot become sakara, visarjaniyasya saha. With that rule.
No,
Can't
it
follow.
can. It can. But when will it become so?
Or
So now you have pratar namami. Suppose you had pratah karoti. It will go that way. Pratastishtati. Pratascharati. Chalati. It will happen. All that will happen. See, all I said to you is this. The utvam will not happen. Because that is roho. Whatever rules can apply to ra will happen. Are you with me? The utvam is ato ro rapluta daplute. 61111. And the hashicha has anuvritti of roho apluta daplute. Therefore, not aplute won't come, just the roho will come. So that roho is common. Roho comes from room. So unless the repa is born of a room, you cannot apply utvam. Since utvam is not there, I said you can't go from, it would have, otherwise it would have been prato, not pratar. Prata would have been prato. That's the only thing I pointed out there. All right. Now, once you have given up utvam, there is no utvam possible. In all other cases, what will happen? If you have kar following, what will happen? If you don't have kar following, it will be ru. Right? If it is not a ru, if it's kar following, what will happen? It will become visarga. Because that rule is what? That rule is, kharavasanayoho raha visarjaniya. If you remember, that raha is ra. It has nothing to do with ru or not ru. Ra. Content is ra. So ra will become visarga. Then if visarga survives as visarga, visarjaniyasya saha bhavati eva. It will happen. Sakara will come. Now, if sakara survives, it survives. If not, it will change to something else. Therefore, in your example, pratar, karavasanayo visarjaniya. So, if kar follows, it will become pratah. Visarjaniya will come. Then visarjaniyasya saha. It will become pratas. then sakara can become shakara by stoho shtunashtuhu. Sakara can shakara by shtunashtuhu, or it can remain sakara. Or if it's followed by another repa, it can undergo rori changes. All these are possible. Only thing I said is when the ra is not born of ru, you cannot go for uttam. Is that clear? Anything else? Okay, we'll do our prayer. If you still have a question, I'll take it after that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Any other question?
No.
Or
Dhanyavad,
comment?
Swami.
Oh.
Dhanyavad, Swamiji.
You're welcome. Yeah. So I will give you a homework after a long time, okay? It will be a long list of sandhis for you to look at, all pulled out from Bhashyam. Okay? So you get ready now. Something is going to hit your mailbox sometime. May not be tomorrow, whenever I'm ready with it. So I don't have a particular, it's not going to be like for this rule, these are the examples. I don't like it because then you all know what to do. It's like a parrot. Just keep applying. You will get a mixed bag. It will have Swara Sandhi and Visarga Sandhi. Vyanjana Sandhi, don't worry about. Except for Stoho Shtunashtuhu, right now you know. Shtunashtuhu, you know that. Other than that, you will have a mixed bag. Okay? So I'll give you a sneak preview what it'll look like, okay? Oh, I didn't share it. Give me a second. Okay. So for example, this is a huge file. Don't worry about what all you'll get. Say for example, just so you know, atraha, what should you do? You have to split. And good thing will be you write what are the two words to split, what are the case numbers, or what are they? So and translate it if you can. So you'll hear first one will be what? Atra aha. Very common in Bhashya. What does it mean? Here it is said. Aha, he said, she said, it said, whatever. Then nahi drishasya. What will it be?
He wishes.
He. Yes, Harsha. He
plus idrisha.
idrishasya. So you have to translate now.
Not, indeed, not like this.
Of this type. Idrishasya. So that way you'll know how to translate Bhashyam in time, okay? Jareti. Swamiji, this looks like one word. Yes, Aruna.
Jara iti?
Jara iti. Correct. So you should know the word jara to make it jara iti. Okay? Cheha. Cha iha. And here, in this context, you should be able to say that. Not just breaking something mechanically. Break and try to see more. Okay? Samudror vivaccha. Samudror mivaccha. Samudror mivat cha. What is the rule between vat and cha? Stohosh chunashtuhu. Okay? So like this, you will find several. Some may be long, some may be short. All right? Because if you are more interested in something more challenging, you'll have a long one also like this. Okay? So we'll see what I'll send out to you. I don't know. I might not scare you first time, but finally I'm expecting that when we do this with what we have done so far, a lot of the sandhis you can break. A lot of them. Vyanjana sandhi is required more for putting words together while making a word itself. And some rules are very useful. We'll cover some basic rules probably next class. So it's easier for us to do all our sandhis. Okay. So I don't know. I'm hoping before next class you will get this homework. We'll see. Okay. But that's what I expect you to do, to be able to form, break, and for each word split, because there will be longer sentences, then you will have more. You know. And this nahi drishasya could also be nahi drishasya. It could be like this too. So slight change will be there. Okay. So we will see what because we have not done an exercise for a very long time now. From my side, I believe Harsha and Priyanka have been giving enough exercises, but we'll give you some more spice to life. Okay. So thank you all. And another good way to exercise yourself is, most of you are coming from Brihadaranyaka. Look at the upcoming section of Bhashyam. That's a good way, because I will be doing them anyway in class. And I mentioned sometimes also, so you can follow what's going on. So you can see whether you were able to see the sandhis well. Because goal of all these classes for us is to be able to study. That's what we want. Otherwise, what's the fun of learning rules? No fun. And what do you need? You need these rules, and much equally important, you need the ability to be able to spot word boundaries. Suptingantam padam. And another thing in the exercise you also do is, wherever there's a compound word, you tell me the components in the compound. If you can know the compound tatpurusha, etc., wonderful. If you can't, at least try to figure out the compound's components. So you know how sandhi is applying within the compound also, because within the sandhi compound, sandhi is mandatory. In a sentence, it is vivaksham apekshate. But in a compound, it is nityam bhavati sandhi. Okay. So I'm hoping that we have covered a lot of language so far. And now you are going to get sandhi. So these two pieces together, the rules of how sandhi happens and the rules of how words are. You know how kridantas are, how tadhitas are to some extent. So you have word idea. Now you have to learn how to split the words and make a sandhi vichcheda. Okay. So make an attempt. And I think you will find it rewarding in time. Because if you can take a huge long sentence of the Bhashyam and split into all words, it's a joy in itself. At least you can read the Bhashyam now. Okay. Thank you all. Already a little more late than normal, but I just thought I will cover this much ground today.
Thank you so much.